Okay, right, so what are we going to talk about? Every other video kind of feel like I should reiterate how this happiness revolution is going to happen, because there'll be lots of people who are going to be very reasonably doubtful as to if we can ever change the world. And in answer to that, there are many answers. There are many people who are joining this Ahmadi Muslim community, which is following these principles of Islam and changing the world. If you just look at what is the fastest growing religion in the world, it is Islam. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So people can be doubtful, but that's because they're not being very honest with themselves. If you simply look at or consider some of the things I'm saying, and if they seem to be the truth and they make sense, you should consider that this truth will always spread and become dominant, because people's mind, people love the truth. You're searching for the truth. People are always searching for the truth. That's human nature. So don't doubt unnecessarily, because that's a sort of dishonesty. And for yourself, why block yourself from taking the truth? And that's what I've got to say about that. I do feel like saying something from the promised Messiah, who is a guide we have sent by God in this age. For every people, I keep repeating this, but you might have not watched any of the other videos. For every people, for every time, God has sent a guide to help us, because we need it. We're stupid. We tend to do stupid things, self-destructive things, like taking drugs and whatever, and thinking we know it all when we clearly are doing really stupid things. Like, it's quite common to drink alcohol, and in the future we'll look back and say, why did people throw alcohol down their throats and think that's a night out? Do you know what I mean? So we will look back at ourselves, even though we're producing iPads and iPhones and all sorts of fancy technology, we still behave like barbarians. So a very interesting time. Okay, so just to read something from the Promised Messiah, because there's a sort of there's an amazing quality behind his words when you reflect on them, and then I'll talk about the topic, which I'm not sure about yet, but we'll find out in a minute. So this is what the Promised Messiah said in 1889, when he started the Ahmadi Muslim community, on God's command, I should say. God desires to found a community of the faithful to manifest his glory and power. He will make the community grow and prosper to establish the love of God, righteousness, purity, piety, peace, and goodwill among men, is the translation, but among people would be better. This shall be a group of persons devoted to God. God shall strengthen them with his own spirit, and bless them and purify them. He shall multiply them exceedingly, and as he has promised. Thousands of truthful people shall join his ranks. He shall himself look after them, and the community grow, so much so that its members and progress shall amaze the world. The community shall be a lighthouse so high as to illuminate the four corners of the world. He's my son, by the way, just woken up. Sorry, Salo. Did I wake you up? Okay, so yeah, my eyes are watering from staring at the screen. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. The members thereof the members thereof shall serve as models of Islamic teachings. My true followers shall excel every other people. There shall always rise among them till the judgment day personages who will be the chosen ones of God in every respect. So has the Almighty decreed, He does as He wills. Okay, so I don't disturb it too much, people. Okay, so that brings up another point, that as you start following the simple principles which I am simply uh, passing on from the teachings of Islam, so there's nothing from me, I'm not anything important in myself, you will begin to realize or become more aware of God, and that's the the power behind everything that we're doing. It's not because of the philosophy itself that is amazing. I'm sort of contradicting myself. It's actually God that will make this revolution happen, and it's such an opportunity for you to be part of it. It is growing. It will continue to grow. If you do not accept it as a Khalifa, the Khalifa is the current leader of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. He says, as he is saying himself again and again, this philosophy, this teaching of Islam will be successful. It will be successful if you do not accept. Your children will accept anyway. So why not join this? Do not be scared to accept um, this great teaching that will help you in every aspect of your life. And you'll see as you start following this philosophy, this way of life called Islam, you'll see around you that everybody else is um, wandering around in blindness, lost in comparison to your newfound knowledge. Okay, so I would like to, since I've talked about it already, actually, talk about true insight. Another amazing little thing that I was just reading from The Essence of Islam, Part 3, which is basically a collection of writings from the Promised Messiah himself again. And you can get that if you go to whyIloveislam.org. I'm sure I've got a copy on there. Okay, or alislam.org, ALISLAM.org. It's on there. The Essence of Islam. Just search it. Part 3. So true insight. That's a really important topic. What do I mean by true insight? People are always developing their own conclusions from different facts. And why do people end up with such diametrically different conclusions? And that's simply because of their lack of honesty and lack of truth. And one of the things the Promised Messiah was saying, which is really interesting, and everything you read about what the Promised Messiah says, if you're honest with yourself, you reflect on them, you will start finding the evidence behind it, more and more evidence as you go along. And one thing he says was that there are so-called philosophers, and I would put the words philosophers he uses, I would say probably is true of many scientists. Okay, and what they say is that they must test every single fact behind something before they accept it. For example, they cannot accept God unless they test every single fact behind God. But the problem with that idea, okay, is not that you shouldn't look for facts and the truth through facts and evidence. It's that it's a very dishonest approach. Because say you're crossing a road, you might say, oh, I can see a car coming down, but you do not test the speed of the car constantly exactly to the nearest miles per hour. You know the car is there. Or for example, if your eyes are closed and you can hear a car, you do not cross the road with your eyes closed. Sorry. Yeah, I'm kind of explaining it wrong. But you do... Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you got your eyes closed. So you got a certain amount of knowledge, okay. But to some extent, you're not aware of everything. So that refers to the eyes being closed. So you got your eyes closed, and you can hear a car coming. Okay. You do not cross the road, do you? Okay. There's enough evidence for you to think that there is a car, and you do not test it. So what so-called scientists do, they're not very honest, and it seems to be they're more dishonest with respect to God and religion than any of their other findings. So whenever they're researching or something, they found a cure for cancer, they don't question it too much. Once they've found the evidence, they're desperate to publish it. They don't go, okay, it might be wrong, or let's not try this new way of tackling cancer. They just go and press ahead with it. But when it comes to religion, they look into every single detail and every single possible doubt, just so that they can avoid accepting what seems to be the obvious truth. When I say the obvious truth, the most reasonable truth based on what they know. Just look at yourself as a human being. Look at the huge complexity of it. And you know that things are not made by a process of random evolution. You can't even do a simple, simulation of random evolution on a computer. You just can't, because it doesn't make any sense. Random things happen, and it just does not make any sense. And I'm a programmer, so I've seen Richard Dawkins' book, The Blind Watchmaker, and it's so full of rubbish. And I'm pointing out that book right now, because there's a bit where they try to program evolution being shown, and what he does, and if you're reasonably honest, you'll see this. He actually handpicks what should go to the next stage of evolution. So he creates random creatures, and from each set of creatures, he picks random creatures and decides what should go to the next stage of evolution. So he's acting as if he's got the hand of God itself. So he didn't let the computer simulation continue doing its job unaided. He had to get involved. And so people, even Richard Dawkins, a chief atheist, they don't really believe in what they're saying. I doubt very much. For him to even write what he did proves to me that he actually believed that God must exist. So I hope that was useful. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. I didn't actually explain what the happiness revolution was, did I? The happiness revolution, by the way, is, just to reiterate, is how you're going to become a happier person, and you're going to make the community around you a happier person just by following simple rules that will just become infectious. Thank you for watching. Bye. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you.